出てきたか招待状。楽しみにしていたよ。
一つ答えてもらうわ、赤眼鏡。私や招待長はこの T ユニバースを修正するために呼ばれた。それは間違いないだよね。
私にはそれを答える権限は与えられていない。
この空間を組んだってことはあなたもまたプログラマーなんでしょ。私たちより前に人格がデジタルデータ化された例ってあなたじゃないの？なるほど。 AI であるさくらには宣言に制約がある。でもこの世界の外から来たものならどう？
なかなかの考察だが、それも答える権限は与えられていない。狙う。いい加減にしなさい。なんだと？
確かに起動も武装もタンクキングダムで戦った時とは別物。
アップデートは済ませたと言ったろう。貴重なデータも手に入ったのでね。エイハブリアクターゼロシステムといった検証データだ。
私たちがプレート修正したミッションのデータじゃない。
異なる歴史に存在するガンダムの機構、 興味深いとは思わないかね、リトルレディ。
そりゃ少しはあるけど、随分悪趣味なコレクターね。ガンダムのデータを集める謎の人格データ、このシステムに向いてるのかな。
これはどうだ。さあ、なるほど、やはりいい腕だ小隊長。そうでなければ選ばない。
私たちを選んだのは管理システムってやつ。
私にはそれを答える権限は与えられて。
お、通信エラー。
君たちが修正を進めれば奴の計画が完成に俺には止められる。
ちょっとどうしたの。奴とは誰。それにあなたはどうして。
私にはそれを答える権限は与えられていない。何度も言わせないでもらいたいものだ。
小隊長、勝って。あいつにもさくらにも確かめなきゃいけないこと。
ここまで
待ちなさい。まだ聞きたいことが。フィル姉さん、あいつのことは後回し。ガベージスペースが公開するよ。ミノ姉さんが組み直したプログラムを元にしてセキュリティホールをついて脱出するから。調べなきゃ。彼が何者でヤツとは誰なのか。本気で死んじゃうかと思ったわ。これで少しは腕が上がったかしら。
これで最後だからな。
キャラルホルン側は浮き足立ってる。奇襲は成功。あとは団長さんたちがうまくやってくれれば。
オルグなら大丈夫だよ。絶対にやり遂げる。
こっから先は行かせねえ。
私たちは三日月君と町へ向かいます。筋肉体で敵を抑え込んで。
当然だろ。三日月こそ遅れるなよ。
ああ、ここで全部終わらせる。
ブルーミッションが成立してるのに足りないデータがあるな。でもシミュレーションには細かい差異は出るものなんでしょ。ガンダムがいないとなると話は別だよ。ガンダムスマルストレーカー絶対に必要になる本心だ。
俺たちは計画通りまかないのじいさんを連れてエドモントンの議事堂へ向かう。
団長気をつけて。何が起こるかわからないみたいです。
100も承知だ。鉄火団の未来のためにお前らの命を懸けてくれ。
ごめん、突っ込め。団長が出れねえぞ。
お前たちの思いは絶対に無駄にしねえ。
あれ、
こんなとこにまでモビルスーツを。
何をしている。とっとと押し返せ。
この橋ってブレイクミッションの時にアフターコロニー時代のモビルスーツが現れたものね。静止ではモビルワーカーしかいないはずなんだよ。どうしてこれだけのモビルスーツが。
いいよ、何でも。全部潰せばいいだけだ。
ヒマリスのデータが足りないことがブルーミッションに影響しているの。
オルガ、アトラ。
これで最後だからな。
キャラルホルン側は浮き足立ってる。奇襲は成功。あとは団長さんたちがうまくやってくれれば。
オルグなら大丈夫だよ。絶対にやり遂げる。
こっから先は行かせねえ。
私たちは三日月君と町へ向かいます。筋肉体で敵を抑え込んで。
当然だろ。三日月こそ遅れるなよ。
ああ、ここで全部終わらせる。
スルーミッションが成立してるのに足りないデータがあるな。でもシミュレーションには細かい差異は出るものなんでしょ。ガンダムがいないとなると話は別だよ。ガンダム決まりストルーパー絶対に必要になるピースなんだけど。
俺たちは計画通りまかないのじいさんを連れてエドモントンの議事堂へ向かう。
団長気をつけて。何が起こるかわからないみたいです。
百も承知だ。鉄火団の未来のためにお前らの命を懸けてくれ。
ごめんごめん、残傷が出れねえぞ。
お前たちの思いは絶対に無駄にしてね
あれミッションデータの異常。団長さん気をつけて。
正気か。奴らこんな街中にモビルスーツだと。
オルダー、
何が起きたの。小隊長三上君、先を急ぎましょう。
直撃まずい、まずい。今だ。
惜しいな。俺には勝てないよ。
まずい。これはどうだ。直撃。直撃。まずい。まずい。直撃でどうだ。
もう終わってる。
このくらい。
これでもまだ気のつもり。
まだ動く。直撃。まずい。問題ない。かわせるか。直撃。このくらい。まずい。これはどうだ。こいつならまだだ。終わった。まずい。そこだ。かわせるか。まだやれるぞ。まずい。直撃。このくらい。そこだ。まずい。このくらい。これでまずい。これで決める。まずい。しまった。
行列の子。
邪魔するやつは全部敵だ。こんなとこにまでモビルスーツを。
何をしている。とっとと押し返せ。
ここ走ってブレイクミッションの時にアフターコロニー時代にモビルスーツで現れたのよね。静止ではモビルワーカーしかいないはずなんだよ。どうしてこれだけのモビルスーツが。
いいよ、なんでも。全部潰せばいいだけだ。
ヒマリスのデータが足りないことがブルーミッションに影響しているの。
オルガ、アトラ、クーデリアも。
この大きさでモビルスーツに。これが一気で秋広君たちを突破した。そう、あれが人とモビルスーツに一体化を果たしたというグレイズアイン。
一体か。別にいいか。邪魔するやつは潰せばいい。そうでしょ、オルガ。
そうだな。お前が俺たちをこんなところで終わらせてくれるはずがねえ。なあミカ。
行くぞバルバドス。
クランク2を手にかけた罪深き子供め。
誰そいつ。
この動き普通じゃない。
じっとしてろ。
でも君たちの罪は止まらない。加速せ。俺たちは議事堂へ向かう。そっちは任せたぞ。
ああ、任され。
罪深き子供。クランク2よ、お前たちと戦うつもりなどなかった。お前たちを救うつもりでいたぞ。
おいバルバドス、いいからよこせ。お前の全部。
そんなバルバドスが。ちょっとさくら、ミカこれ大丈夫なの。大丈夫だ。これが彼が選んでいく道だから。
さくら、回線つなげるか。
団長さん、レーザー通信用ドローンの配備完了。鉄火団のみんなに連絡できるよ。
お前ら聞こえるか。まかないとクーデリアは議事堂へ送り届けた。俺たちの仕事は成功したんだ。だからこっから先は死ぬな。もう死ぬんじゃねえぞ。こっから先に死んだ奴らは団長命令違反で俺がもっくり殺す。だからいいか。何としてでも勝ってでもそれこそ死んでも生きられね
分かった。オルガ。
体勢を回復する。あるべき姿だ。
そのガイリオボードの特務参査とキマリスは結局現れなかった。
オルガが止まらない限り俺も止まらない。これまでもこれからも。
やったの。これでブルーミッション完了よね。キマリスのことは気になるけどエラーは出てない。ブレイクアウトするよ。やったのね。
頼りにさせてもらうぜ。
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing, man?
ガンダムラトレイヤーモビルアキュイオススカイ戦闘フェーズにシフトします。
Yeah, I got shit to do today, so
合体型のモビルアーマー、これを破壊できれば次のディレクトリを進める。
そうだ、小隊長君
just testing out the graphics card.
勝負のことだ。エラー人格データを変更します。
でも撃破しちゃっていいの？私がアクセスプログラムを完成させる。アクセスさえできれば。
私にウイルスプログラムでも送り込むつもりかね。そんなことは無意味無意味無意味。エラー本人格の再生を停止します。
さくら、モビルアーマーにハッキングをかけ続けて。少しでも時間を稼がなきゃ。イエスさ。小隊長さんはモビルアーマーの動きを止めて。
問題ない。損傷は軽微、データ負荷は想定内です。
やっぱプロテクトが硬い。
勝利を咲かせろ。何か仕掛けるのならば。
タスクを増やしてオーバーフローを狙う。原始的だけど結局はそこね。小隊長さん、攻撃しまくって。避けさせたり防御させたり攻撃させたり。でもいずれは破壊してしまう。そうなったらハーメスが。
俺に構うな。管理システムのプロテクトは完璧だ。エラー本人格に当該事項に対する発言権限はありません。損傷率 50% オーバー。キュイオススカイの稼働データを更新します。
小隊長さんやる。ルロ姉さんの方はどう？もう少し。ハッキングの方はやってるけど効果が薄いかな。もう少し処理負荷をかけないと。小隊長、攻撃の手を緩めないで。
無駄なことはやめたまえ。管理システムからも厳重なアクセス制限。エラー破損した人格データのデリートを申請します。同時に不正アクセス排除のためハッキング対策を強化。
しまった、ちょっと強引にアタックしすぎた。アクセスプログラムによる成功法間に合うの？
見えてきた。使わせてもらう。この程度。損傷率 75% オーバー。被害拡大。プネウマブルトのデータリンクを開始します。
間に合わない。ヒロ姉さん、私に考えがある。サルベージプログラムに意識をちょうだい。防壁破りだけあってもしょうがないのよ。
無理をするな。キュイオススカイの破壊に専念しろ。ガベージスペースがオーバーフローする。
Didn't get anything that time. Need another person to join, make it faster. God Gundam can't really fight big bosses very well. He attacks slow. Thing about God Gundam Domon is that he fucking destroys normal bosses, but the big ones, it's really hard for him to do much. Especially because they track so much, so like they move a lot. They move a lot, and you don't have as much tracking as they do. This game's big bosses are kind of unfair. They're not unbeatable, but not too fun. Got two guys, two gunners here. Maybe they'll help. By the time I start punching, he's already on the other side of the map. I'm gonna try to get the chip from here. So there's gonna be an update for this on like Tuesday. Not making people wait for the season pass content, I guess.
エラー本人格の再生を停止します。
さくら、モビルアーマーのハッキングをかけ続けて、少しでも時間を稼がなきゃ。イエスだ。小隊長さんはモビルアーマーの動きを止めて。まだだ。
損傷は軽微。データ負荷は想定内です。
やっぱプロテクトが硬い。
Thanks for licking that grid earlier. That was good stuff. Finally, a good fighting game being streamed.
原始的だけど結局はそこね。小隊長さん、攻撃しまくって。避けさせたり防御させたり攻撃させたり。でもいずれは破壊してしまう。そうなったらハーメスは
俺に構うな。管理システムのプロテクトは完璧。エラー本人格に当該事項に対する
It's a shame what's happening with DNF Duel.
管理システムが制御下にないデータでも
I regret buying that game.
私じゃある
Really
まいし
do.
そんなのいくつもあるわけないって。
Especially because I bought it on PC and there's even less people playing. I wonder if that game is even going to get DLC. You're just going to kill it. It's already kind of dead. 2 months in.
小隊長さんやる。ルネさんの方はどう。
損傷率 75% オーバー被害拡大プネウマブルトのデータリンクを開始します。
間に合わない。ルネさん、私に考えがある。サルベージプログラム意識をちょうだい。防壁破りだけあってもしょうがないのよ。
無理をするな。
How do you think I feel, dude? Like, I'm not judging that game just on it being a fighting game. I'm actually a fan of the source material. You know, now people are like invested in who they add to Dragon Ball Fighters. That's how I feel with that game. Like, I've been playing DFO for years, like 15 years. That roster is just really obvious characters just aren't there. It really bothers me. Especially because it's not even really certain if there's going to be DLC for it. The roster just sucks. I think they wanted to pick like more oddball choices. The problem is just that you know, they might not get another season, so like, I don't know how good of an idea that is. Should have had a better roster from the start. I actually care about the characters that are added, not just from a fighting game gameplay standpoint, but like, you know, being a fan of the franchise. Well, completely changing the mechanics 2 months in was not going to happen. I mean, we just went through that with Melty Blood. They waited like a year to make those changes. It's just Melty Blood type Lumina at its worst was like a better designed game overall. Like they knew that people hated the shield, they hated the auto combos, they knew that none of that stuff was really well liked, but they just didn't want to change it right away because, you know, it's a big deal to change the game that much. The combat designer on that game, like, streams the game like 8 hours a day, so I'm sure he was aware. You know, he actually plays the game, which is more than you could say for a lot of other games we play these days. Ironically, that happened with DFO itself, the actual real game. That game's had a lot of problems too. And they got a new director who, like, actually plays the game, and that's why I came back. Because that guy is fixing that game. He actually plays the game, and it's like, you know, some stuff about this game sucks. I want to change it. That's why I came back.
そうだ、小隊長君。ここが勝負どころだ。エラー、人格データを変更します。
でも撃破しちゃっていいの？私がアクセスプログラムを完成させる。アクセスさえできれば。
私にウイルスプログラムでも送り込むつもりかね。そんなことは無意味無意味無意味。エラー、本人格の再生を停止します。
さくら、モビルアーマーにハッキングをかけ続けて。少しでも時間を稼がなきゃ。
He's doing no damage.
小隊長さんはモビルアーマーの動きを止めて。
I forgot it does have a world tour, doesn't it? Isn't like a 10K prize pool? This is going nowhere fast. I hate to do that, but it's just wasting time. Guy's not doing any damage. There's no one on this right now. I think I'll play something else. Yeah, isn't the prize pool like $10,000? They probably just did that so it wasn't nothing but Swift Master and top 8. Like the bare minimum to prevent that from happening, which might still happen. I hear he's still good. They just neutered him a little bit. And I really think that's the only reason that patch happened. I don't even think that they will really announce anything else for it. Yeah, sponsors don't like it. Fighting games, they don't like it when it becomes like Dragon Ball Fighters, where they had like nothing but Bardock and Kid Goku in like every team, or like the Lab Coat, what is her name? I don't remember what android number she is, but the Lab Coat one. It's like, they don't like that, because it makes the game look bad. It is a bad thing, to be fair, but I think the only reason that patch happened is because that tournament is happening soon, and they knew that it would just be 5 hours of Swiftmaster, which makes your game look really bad. Android 21, yeah, that character was in like every team. It was boring to watch, but Dragon Ball Fighters has always had that problem, though. Like, Kid Goku was on every team, Bardock was on every team, and like, I never really played the game at a high level. I got tired of watching it. I think they just did as little as they could to like make sure that maybe that won't happen. I think it honestly still will happen. I hear that they didn't completely neuter Swiftmaster, they just made it a little bit harder to be degenerate. The problem is it's just other characters can't really do much. I don't know why the hell they even nerfed the Grappler. The Grappler already struggles so much in that game. He does not have. He does not have privileged hitboxes. His combos are harder from what I've seen, and he has to get in against all that shit. It's like, how is he supposed to do that? And you go ahead and you nerf him. Like, that's like one of four things they changed was nerfing the grappler for some reason, which makes absolutely zero sense. Why would you do that? It's like nerfing Arthur in Marvel 3. And no one ever used that character. He sucked. He just could not compete. Or like nerfing Iron Fist in Marvel 3. Iron Fist was also terrible. Iron Fist had no mobility, he had no range, his assists weren't good. And then when he got in, he didn't do anywhere near as much damage as the top tiers. He couldn't control the screen. So like against somebody like Morgan, he's just worthless. Like he can't do anything. Whatever. It's the principle of it, man. The principle of it is stupid. Yeah, they're adding a bunch of stuff to Gundam on Tuesday, so I kind of want to play that more. It's just there's never anyone on. It's already becoming a Discord fighter. It's only been out for like a week and a half. It's already becoming a Discord fighter, which is not good. I'm just glad I beat the game when I did. I'm in the Discord. By the time they get all the Season Pass DLC out, it's just going to be even more of a Discord fighter. I wouldn't expect them to add new moves. I think, if anything, I was just playing the Musha Gundam, and the roll action they have, where they can cancel out of things faster, that should just be a universal thing. That makes the game feel so much better. It makes fighting against the big bosses so much better, because you can actually cancel out of things. Whereas when you don't have that, you go super slow. Like, I don't know why the game is designed like that. Controller's not working. SD Gundam Battle Lines will probably be like the Gundam Muso games. The first Gundam Muso game was terrible. It had like barely any content. But they made 2, and then they made 3, and then they made Reborn, and they eventually became like really good games. But the first one sucked. I definitely think Battle Alliance is better than Gundam Muso 1. That game they just kind of crapped out because they had the license, and then also it was out around the beginning of the generation, so people would just buy it because there was nothing else to play, and really have a whole lot to play. That game came out like 06, early, like late 06, early 07, I think. So like Halo was even barely out. Call of Duty 4 wasn't out. Weren't really a lot of big games to play. But that game sucked. It's like not even worth playing. Better to play like at least go up from 2 or just play Reborn. It kind of just added stuff. They didn't really remove anything. Let's see what I feel like playing now. But hopefully it gets a sequel. Hopefully they fix the combat. It's stupid to have a class in the game that makes the game more responsive, but you have to have half a meter to do it. It makes fighting the big bosses feel so much better because you can actually push a button and cancel, whereas with the other two classes you can't do that. You have to wait until like way after the animation before the character will respond. And I mean, there's plenty of games like that where you can't. There's plenty of games like that where you can't cancel like right away. It's not like super responsive. The problem with Battle Alliance is that the big bosses are like so much faster than you. They pretty much like Goku instant transmission across the screen. And you're locked in an animation, so you either get hit or you do an attack and they're on the other side of the screen. I don't know why the game is balanced like that. It would be easy to fix those fights and make them feel a lot better for melee characters, but currently the meta is just to stand back and just shoot them, which I think is dumb because, you know, there's two other classes in the game that don't revolve around that. But it's legit better to do that. Like, the actual melee combat against those bosses just does not work. And like, they don't even really have to change the bosses that much. Maybe like slow them down a bit, maybe reduce their hitboxes. But mostly it would be just the all-rounder roll action. That should just be how the game plays by default. As I notice, whenever I have other people in the party fighting those big bosses, and we're melee classes, it takes like 10 times longer. Because anytime you punch or slash, try to hit them, they're on the other side of the screen. And they're charging up for an attack, and you can't cancel out of it. The game doesn't let you. It's just a mess. Yeah, the hitboxes, how fast they are, and then like it's kind of at odds with how fast how slow you are. I also feel like if you perfect guard them, they should be stunned like every time. It's kind of weird. The counter in that game against the big bosses is kind of like Bayonetta, where, you know, they don't want every attack in Bayonetta to trigger Witch Time, because then the game would be too easy. And you wouldn't even really be fighting the boss, you'd just be fishing for Witch Time. They didn't want that. The thing about Bayonetta is that most of the attacks do trigger it. Big attacks trigger it. Like, even though the game doesn't tell you, like, there's no, like, aura around the boss or anything that tells them, like, hey, you know, you can Witch Time this attack. It's pretty obvious. You know, they do, like, a big punch or something. And if you dodge that, you get rewarded. The problem with SD Gundam is that you perfect guard and nothing happens most of the time. They just no-sell it. They have, like, one or two attacks they can do that will actually be countered. I don't know, man. It's just bad design. It's not like you can't beat it. It's just... it's frustrating because they need to change, like, very little to make that game, like, way better. But who knows if they will. You fly over one and they still hit you. Yeah, they have like Texas-sized hitboxes. I think Dark Souls players should play SD Gundam
Death
Battle
holds no
Alliance.
fear
It's like
for those who have given their life
same
to
kind of thing.
service.
Robot will like slash at you and you're like on the other side of the screen and still hit you. Gotta carry on the legacy from Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. Sure, games well known for that. Planet-sized hitboxes. You swear you dodged it and you did, but their hitboxes are better than yours, so... If you want to play the Gundam Musou games, just emulate them. They're not going to come back. Just go get the ROM. I'm going to be honest with you. As somebody who tries to be legit with video games, just go get the ROM. Seriously. If you want to play them. My phone can even run Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2, so... The PS3 emulation isn't great, but it's passable. You definitely need a decent computer to run it. Yeah, just go get the ROMs. They're easy to find. I don't even need to tell you where to find them. If you look, though, you'll find them. Yeah, if you watch my kitty sitting streams, which is what I do when I'm watching over the cats and taking care of my neighbor, I play a lot of retro games. So I just kind of realized, like, hey, I have a phone with, like, 600 gigs of space, and it can run, like, almost everything up to the Wii. Like, I'm just gonna play the games on the phone, and I have a lot of fun doing that. It's really enjoyable. I mean, these games are legit never gonna be available again.
May your ancestors forgive your sloppiness.
Yeah, Musou seems to be, mostly immune to clickbait, which is weird, because there's clickbait for, like, the weirdest stuff. Yeah, Musou is, not a lot of big channels like to play it. It's probably because they have that shit down to a science, and they know that people won't watch it. Yeah, generally, if you want to watch Musou, we don't have that many options. I'm one of the bigger channels. My channel is small, but I'm still, like, one of the bigger ones. It's just I go nuts playing that stuff all the time. There haven't been that many good Musou games lately, to the point where I've been playing older ones, and I just like to mix it up. I like to play other stuff. It doesn't really help me. It doesn't really help me financially, but mentally, I like just playing a wide range of stuff.
My duty calls. It is time.
I've had some people subscribe just for the indie games, so must be doing something right. Got comments before like, I watch you for the indie games. I'm not interested in the Muso. Oh, that's cool.
Death awaits those who stand against the Empire. My old quartermaster would approve of this. The gods favor me.
The shadow thickens.
May your ancestors forgive your sloppiness. My armor is restored. My, what is this? My, what is this?
Surprised no one's commented on the title of the stream.
Such a fine weapon under the rust.
Watch a little bit of Power Rangers Super Megaforce. It really is as bad as they say. It's
The gods favor
it's a
me.
bastardization of a. They just butchered Gokaiger making that show. It's like it's really bad. But that's what happens when you have 20 episodes to cover a 50 episode series. I can't even imagine what it was like watching that as a kid. Obviously, not the target audience anymore, but a new toy like every week. Fucking crazy.
Patience. Rest in peace and
show, like,
honor at least.
3 new toys an episode. They even showed footage from the Super Sentai of the pre-Power Rangers seasons, and they didn't even fucking explain it. Like, they just wanted to use that footage. There's just like no reason for it. I hear the new Power Rangers season is going to be like the old ones. They're keeping the same cast. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I don't know if that's just trying to bring back the old days, or if they're trying to save money. It could be a little bit of both.
Patience. awaits those who stand against the Empire.
The shadow will shortly begin to spread.
My, what is this? Ah, such a fine weapon under the rust.
The shadow thickens.
I wish Battle for the Grid wasn't all but confirmed to be dead. No official announcement, but both combat designers are gone, so the future of that game is not looking good. Nothing was announced for it during Power Rangers Week either. I know they have a new mobile game coming out, but it's just generic turn-based stuff, so I have, like, no interest in playing that. Outside of the fan service aspect, like, yeah. Come on, give me action.
Come here and bear arms! Behold my might and fall! I cannot do that yet. Death awaits those who stand against the Empire. May your ancestors forgive your sloppiness. My armor is restored.
The shadow will soon spread.
My duty calls. It is time.
The shadow spread.
May your ancestors forgive your sloppiness. May your ancestors forgive your sloppiness. A resupply is in order. My old quartermaster would approve of this. Combat ready, yet again. I am restored.
I love this part.
Good as new. Death awaits those who stand against the Empire. My old quartermaster would approve
The
of this.
shadow will shortly begin to spread. The shadow thickens.
In the name of the Emperor!
That's what happens when you play with bots. Yeah. The bots will go outside of the boundary and they just kind of like just stand there and like zone out. It seems to be running a bit better. This game is pretty poorly optimized, but definitely more playable than it was. Okay, that's one test down.